This is a video explaining a similar assignment to chapter 4 assignment. So I'm going to start question 1. State whether the variable discrete continuous, the weight of an employee. You know, weights are continuous. Anything that you can measure using a measurement tool is continuous. Anything that you can count as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 is discrete. Number 2, state whether the variable discrete continuous. Number of computers, you know, that is something that must be a whole number, either 0 computer, 1, 2, 3, so that must be discrete right here, and that is continuous. Number 3, the random variable x represents the number of cellular phones per household in a town of 400 households. What's the probability of randomly selecting a household that has more than 2 phones? So the probability of more than 2 phones will be equal to what? More than 2 phones means a 3 or 4. That's more than 2. So we have 98 plus 73. And then you have to divide by the grand total. Okay, so that will be 171 divided by 400. That would be the answer. Okay, I'll go to 4 and 5 later. I'm going to go to 6 right now, since it's shown on the screen. A recent survey found that 65% of all adults over 60 approve of retirement bill in a random sample of 10. So the 65% is the P, probability of success, and the 10 is N. So P is 0.65 and N equals to 10. First question, this is section 2 now. What is the probability that exactly 6 of them approve of a bill? As I explained to you, exactly you have to use a function called binomial PDF, which I'm going to show you in a second. And then you enter the value of Pn, which is 10. Then you enter the value of P, which is 0.65. And then you enter 6 and you process the answer. Let's demo how this is done. So turn the calculator on. Okay, I'm going to clear this. Second and quit. So you go to second, variables, and then you scroll down to binomial PDF. Enter. Number of trials, which is N, so we enter a 10. Enter. And the P is 65.65%. And exactly 6 of them. Just make sure. Yeah, 6 of them. So the X value would be 6. Enter, paste, and then enter, and here's the answer. So the answer is 2377. So let's write this down. Next question, what's the probability that at most 6 of them approve of the bill? At most means less than or equal to 6. And I told you less than or equal to 6 means a 6, a 5, a 4, a 3, a 2, a 1, or a 0. And this can be processed with one function called binomial CDF. N is 10, P is 0.65, and 6. Remember, there are 2 different formulas. This is PDF and the other one is CDF. Let me show you how to do this using the calculator. So we go to second, variables one more time. We have to scroll down until we see CDF now. Enter. Number of trials is 10 with the down arrow key. P is 0.65. Enter. X value is 6. And enter. So the answer is 0.4862 to 4 decimal places. Another way to do this one, you can use the binomial PDF for part B on 6, and then do it on 5, then do it on 4, then do it on 3, on 2, on 1, on 0, and add up the answers. You should get exactly 0.4862. C, what's the probability that at least 7 of them approve of the bill? At least 7 of them means greater than or equal to 7. At least 7, guys, means 7 or 8 or 9 or 10. Here's one way you can do it. You can do the 7 on the PDF, the 8 on the PDF, the 9 on the PDF, and the 10 on the PDF, and add them up. Or you can do this. At least 7 means 1 minus at most 6. Because we want 7, 8, 9, 10, but we don't want 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. So we do the at most 6 because there's a formula would allow us to do this. And then we subtract the answer from 1 because the sum of all probabilities equal to 1. Well, you already did at most 6, guys. It's already in part B. So it's going to be 1 minus 0.4862. And that would be 0.5138. Okay. D, what is the probability that all of them approve of the bill? Well, all of them approve the bill means x equals 10, guys, because there were 10 of them, so we need probability of x equals 10. Remember, equal you use binom PDF. It's as simple as that. So it will be binom PDF, n is 10, 0.65, and then 10. Okay, let's bring the calculator up. So I'm gonna go second, variables, second, variables, and then we're gonna scroll down to binom PDF again. So 10, the first two values never change in any part of the problem. X value is 10. I think it's going to be low, very low probability. Okay, and then enter. 0.0135. If you ask you to change it to a percent, it will be 1.35%. What's the mean of the binomial distribution? Calculator, there's no built-in formula. It's very easy. N times P, so 10 times 0.65, which is 6.5. What's the standard deviation? There is a formula also, just use it. It's square root of NPQ, which is square root of 10 times 0.65. Okay, Q is the probability of failure. So it's 65% success, it's 35% failure. And you just do the math and figure out this answer. The answer is 1.51. And don't forget to do the square root once you multiply the numbers inside the square root. Now we'll go to question 4. Determine whether the distribution represents a probability distribution. There are two conditions for probability distribution. Each probability has to be between 0 and 1. And then the sum of all probabilities must be equal to 1. Let's see if those conditions are satisfied. Well, I can see each probability is between 0 and 1, 0.30, 0.5, 0.1, 0.03, they are all between 0 and 1, so this is satisfied. Let's see if the sum of probability is equal to 1. Okay, let's see. 3, 5, 0.8, 0.9, I get 0.97, which is not equal to 1. This condition is not satisfied, so the answer is no. Not a probability distribution. Okay. Okay, there's one more question. The random variable x represents the number of credit cards that adults have along with the corresponding probability. Find the mean and the standard deviation. You can do the mean by hand if you like. It's sum of x px, which is gonna be 0 times 0.09 plus 1 times 0.38 plus 2 times 0.29 plus 3 times 0.13 plus 4 times 0.11, and we can find the answer. And let me show you another way to find the mean and the standard deviation. So I'm going to bring the calculator up, hit clear, you go to stat, edit. In L1 you enter the x values, sorry, phone is ringing. And then for the L2 you enter the probability values. The mean can be done by hand, it's easy, but the standard deviation, if you like to use technology, the formula takes a little bit more time to process. There you go. And now you click on stat, calc, one variable statistic, list in L1, but make sure to do a frequency. There is a frequency, there are probabilities, so make sure to select L2, which is second, and then number 2, enter, calculate, and the mean is 1.79 and the standard deviation is 1.125, so 1.79 here, and the standard deviation, I forgot what it was, 1.125. Otherwise, if you want to use the formula for the mean, it is the square root of the sum of x minus mean squared times p of x. So this is what you have to do if you are to do it by hand. You have to take the x value first, which is a 0, minus the mean, which you did in the previous step, square it, multiply the probability of x equals 0, which is 0.09, and then you do the same for the next one, where the x value is 1 minus 1.79, and then squared times the probability, which is 0.38, and then you keep going until you do all of the x values, and then after you're done you do the square root on all of them. But you can use the calculator to compute the answer as well. Okay, that completes the practice assignment.